Good afternoon from the GoLocal Live Navigate Credit Union Broadcast Center here in a rainy, cold Providence today. I'm Rick Simone, host of The Taste. Thank you for joining me today. We've got a great lineup, and I know I say that similar thing every week, but today's lineup is really fun. We've had a lot of you talking about preparing for St. Patrick's Day. I've gotten a ton of great feedback on the guests that we announced that are joining me, but we're actually going to have 4 guests because in between some of my guests here, I want to bring in Kate Nagel because we've got this winter storm warning stuff happening, and Kate's going to give us an update of what's going on from the Weather Service out there. So she'll be joining me as well today. I also have Dennis Sullivan, who is the parade chair from the Newport St. Patrick's Day Parade, one of the biggest parades I think in the state, draws an awesome attendance, has been going on for quite a long time. He's going to give us his tips, tell us about the parade, some of its history, so I'm excited to have Dennis come in shortly. Then I also have another good friend of mine, Ruth Ferrazzano, who is just a couple blocks away from here, who is the proprietor and owner of Murphy's, and she has been there for a very long time, had it in a few different locations. She's going to give us some of the history of what's been going on at Murphy's, all of their St. Patrick's Day plans, and talk to us about their menu as well. And then my final guest is going to be Janet Russell, who is the owner of McBride's Pub, another Irish pub on the east side of the city over here. And same thing, she's got a very interesting story on how McBride's came to be, and she's going to fill us in on that story and what they're planning for St. Patrick's Day. It's the first time in a while that St. Patrick's Day has actually fell on a Saturday, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how the celebrations kind of span 3 days of celebrating, probably Friday through Sunday. That being said, let's get started, and I will bring in Dennis so we can start talking about the Newport St. Patrick's Day Parade. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining me. I'm glad you're here today.
Us.
So you've been at this for quite a while now, yourself, right?
Yeah, for almost a quarter century.
A quarter century being involved in, and this is all on the parade committee?
On the parade committee, I've been a member of the Hibernians. That's how I originally got involved down in Newport, and I've been chairman for the past 21 years.
21 years you've been chairman. This is like, you know this thing like the back of your hand now.
It never gets easy, that's for sure. There's always something new that'll come up.
Well, that's not a bad thing, though. That means the parade's always evolving. But
Yeah.
so you've been 21 years as the chairman. How many years has the parade been going on now?
The parade has been going on now. This is going to be the 63rd annual. However, there have been parades traced back to the early 1800s. We do have a history there. It's just they were never
Recorded
consecutive.
or tracked?
Well, they were never consecutive. No, they were recorded. They're in the Mercury and such. You could look back.
So you can go back and find them.
Yeah, you can find them. We've actually put them in our parade booklet. From year to year, we'll put a history. We have the Newport historian, Pat Murphy, gives us information, and we post it in the booklet. We have them as far back as the early 1800s.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. But 63 years alone of consecutive years is amazing in and of itself.
Oh, yeah. It's quite
So,
amazing.
63 years of going, 21 years of you being the chair and being involved in it, you have to have seen this thing evolve massively in 21 years.
Oh, yes. It's definitely grown over the years. Things have changed a lot over the years, and that's due to all the hard work of not just as chairman. I'm talking about all the parade committee people, prior chairmans, and so forth and so on, have caused it to grow.
How big is the committee that puts all this together?
We're currently at 10. However, we lost 2 of our members this year, passed away, which was a hard hit on us.
Now, and it's sad because, I mean, anytime you lose anybody, it's sad from that standpoint, but 10 people to think about that, even 12 people to put this massive endeavor on that goes on once a year, it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, that's for sure.
So in the planning of this and producing of it, as it each year, does it seem like it gets bigger and, you know, more things added to it, or what's the differences that you've been noticing over the years?
We like to keep it to a solid 2 hours, and the reason we keep it around that is because the businesses like to have it at that. They don't want it to go on too long or too little. There's the right time for us. The time for us is 2 hours. It's not as long as, like, say, the New York parade, but it's a good sized parade and it's a nice parade. It changes a little bit here and there. We'll have a couple acts change and new acts come, and things that can't come from year to year, they may go to a different parade or what have you.
So you said it's 2 hours long. This is the first time the parade's been on St. Patrick's Day in a number of years.
Yeah, that's correct.
So this is going to be an amazing Saturday with the St. Patrick's Day actually taking place on the actual day of the parade.
Correct, yeah,
But
well, but
2 hour parade. When does it start?
it'll start at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock on Saturday the 17th. So we're, 10 days out at this point till this parade begins. A 2 hour parade, and where does it kick off?
It kicks off at City Hall on Broadway in Newport.
And where does it end? Because it goes quite a distance.
And it ends at St. Augustine's Church down in the 5th Ward, down on Carroll Avenue.
So it marches from City Hall, goes down, it goes down Lower Thames as well, right, to get over to that area, right?
That's correct, yes.
So, I mean, you're talking about a mammoth amount of businesses that are taking advantage of this. The economic impact from you putting on this parade, they should be like all contributing back and making this parade, you know, giving you more money, I think.
Not everyone does contribute, but a good portion do. We have a very generous city, for sure.
So in putting this together, there's a lot of expenses with producing this, and your committee is it all volunteers?
It's all volunteers, yeah, none of us are paid.
So the expenses behind this, I mean, the city of Newport's obviously a partner because you've got police, street closures, all those things that have to go with it, right?
Correct, yes.
So how do you raise the funds to produce this endeavor every year?
We go to businesses and we sell advertising. We do an advertising booklet. We have a lot of different dinners. We have a Grand Marshall's roast. We're going to have that this Sunday, actually, where we roast the Grand Marshal. We have a green eggs and ham breakfast. We have a halfway to St. Patrick's Day party. O'Brien's Pub in Newport throws their own
Nice.
St. Patrick's Day party that helps us raise money.
So where can people find information on these events and how to support you? That's one of the questions I got is people are like, how do we support these guys to make sure this thing keeps going to get bigger and better?
They can go to our website at newportirish.com,
Okay.
or they can look us up on Facebook.
Fantastic. Now, you mentioned the Grand Marshal Roast that's coming up. And that's this weekend.
Yes.
So that's one way for people to come in and support you. Who's the Grand Marshal this
The
year?
Grand Marshal is Judge Colleen Hastings.
Nice. Okay. And every year you guys choose a different Grand Marshal that comes in?
That's correct, yes. Every year we choose a different one according to how we feel they fit in, helping to make the parade better or make the community better.
Excellent. And talk to us about, because this is one of the things that I'm getting bunch of questions I've got on social media, but I want to talk about what's in the parade, like what type of divisions are in the parade, what can people expect to see?
You'll see 7 bagpipe groups in there. You'll see 4 fife and drum corps, about 7 bands, whether it's high school or school bands or privately owned bands that are going to come march. A lot of floats, a few reenactment units, like Civil War reenactment units will be in the parade, and a lot of police, fire, and civic organizations.
Awesome. So despite the fact that, you know, Newport gets a little crazy during this time frame because St. Patrick's Day is a big day to celebrate, it is really a family event for people to come out and enjoy this.
It is. It's become more of a family event over the years. We've done a lot. These last 5 years, we've really pushed towards the hospitality end of it, not so much putting into the bands, but getting porta potties that we'd never had over the years, getting more signage, getting parking and parking shuttle, having more enforcement done both on our end and the police end as well. So we're turning it more and more into a family event every year.
And I think that's a great thing because the tradition, and like you said, the amount of years, over 60 years of this tradition being actively annually being done, to make it so the families can come and enjoy it as much as the people that want to be rowdy and celebrate is just as important,
Yes.
especially for Newport. And you see a lot of these that'll be floating around them that day. So I think this is the first time I've waved an Irish flag. I'm used to doing my Italian flag here. So everybody's going to be able to see tons of these. And we've got also something else that's being done that was done for you guys. We got Newport Storm did something, right? What do we got over here?
That's correct.
Look at this. So this is Newport Storm's specialty thing that they did just for, I'll let you hold that one flag because I want to look at these. These guys are great. We've had them in here before. So Spring Irish Red Ale.
That's a beer that they've done. Basically what happened was they wanted to get involved, and that was 5 years ago when they got involved, where they were like, hey, how can we help? And I said, well, we're trying to do something hospitality-wise. So every penny we raise from this, they give us shirts with the logo. The logo changes every year, called the Grand Marshal. You can see it's Lady Justice this year with
That's
Irish
excellent.
tricolors. And every penny we raise from this goes towards the hospitality end of it. It goes towards the porta potties, it goes towards the busing, it goes towards signage and so forth. And
So support the things that are helping make it more family friendly as well.
exactly.
So
yes.
you get the beer, but you're actually helping out support the initiatives that need to make it more family friendly. All right, I got to try this thing.
Okay.
Let you do this here. There we go. All right, and I'm going to try it in the official glass. Now, one of the biggest questions I got was asking you for some tips. So I need to get some tips from you on where people should go to watch the parade.
Well, I recommend for families, I say the Broadway area all the way up to America's Cup Avenue. The whole route along there is great for families. There's a lot of area there. That's why, especially Washington Square, there's a lot good area. Like if you have strollers or something like that, and it's not too congested. Thames Street can get a little congested, so either go to the end of it if you're going to go down Thames Street to Carroll Avenue, the reviewing stand in Fifth Ward area,
Okay.
or up higher, like I say, America's Cup Avenue or before.
And people should get there early. So the evening begins at 11:30. They got to get there early.
Correct.
Okay.
The bridge is backed up before if they wait too long, if you wait until like 11 o'clock when it's kicking off.
Got it.
You may-
Well, I want to thank Dennis for joining me today. I'm looking forward to the parade. I think a lot of people are looking forward to be out there on the 17th. So get more details, go to the website, go to Facebook. We'll put the stuff out there. Support the Newport Storm beer, which is delicious. I'm drinking. But Dennis, thank you. I look forward to seeing you at the parade.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I'm going to step out with Dennis, and we're going to bring Kate Nagel in to get us a big update here.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm GoLocal News Editor Kate Nagel. I appreciate this opportunity to welcome in on-air meteorologist Alex Wallace with the Weather Channel to give us an update on Winter Storm Quinn. Alex, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, no problem.
So all the talk today is the path expected, was it anticipated as where the storm is going? How are things proceeding with Winter Storm Quinn?
Fairly well. It was pretty well forecast in terms of where it was going to be headed. I think the issue was where was that cold air going to set up? And we noticed that things were sort of shifting a little bit farther to the east. So some of the coastal spots now are more in line to deal with a little bit more snow. But for the most part, in a big general sense, pretty well forecast.
So here we are in Providence. We're getting a little bit of rain, but it is certainly cold down here. So let's start with Rhode Island. Where's the storm right now? Is there a possibility for a substantial snow accumulation in the state? And where's that line at, Alex?
That is the big question, right? The million-dollar question. Where is that line? And I tell you, I've been pulling my hair out, and you see why I'm bald, trying to figure it out. It's tough, but it looks like right now that line is going to set up just along the southeast coast of Rhode Island. So, I mean, you're talking places like Providence. You'll be pretty much well in line to deal with mostly snow from this event. Again, starting out as a bit of rain, but then it'll switch over, and it's going to be lasting through at least the evening overnight period, and that's going to add up. There are some indications we could be looking at a foot or more of snow when it's all said and done.
Okay, so here we are. The rains now. Do we have any anticipation, as you said, going through the evening? Commute time going to be tough here later in the evening as to where the storm is on the East Coast right now, Alex?
I would absolutely say a little bit past that evening rush, getting towards maybe dinner time. That's when you'd want to avoid getting out there on the roads, because what's going to happen is the snowfall rates, they're really going to start to increase to be like a quick burst of very heavy snow. At times it could be 1 to 2 inch per hour snowfall rates, and it's that kind of snow which makes it really tough to try to navigate it.
Reports of thunder snow. Folks always like to know about this. We've heard some from New York. Has there been thunder snow in Winter Storm Quinn?
There has. There's been quite a bit of thunder snow, in fact, all over the place from parts of Jersey towards Philadelphia. We may start to see it around, in fact, we have around New York City as well. And so there's certainly that opportunity with a very, very dynamic storm system here that we could see some of that pushing its way up across parts of New England.
And let's talk about going up to Massachusetts. Let's talk about where that line is for the most potential for a significant snowfall. Let's talk about Central Mass. Let's talk about Worcester in that region. Are they expecting to bear the brunt of the storm?
I tell you, a spot like Worcester is right in the middle of the snow. That's one of those locations where we're pretty confident that the rain snow line is going to be well to the south and the east of Worcester. So snow for this entire event there, and there we're talking double-digit totals, a foot, maybe a foot and a half if all goes well. If you like snow, you may be dealing with that. And then a little bit farther to the south and the east, that's where things get a little bit more complicated, moving your way south and east of Boston, say. That's where things will be a little bit more tricky, where we could see much, much lighter amounts.
That was going to be my next question. Moving east to Boston to folks who might be commuting between Providence and Boston, that's certainly an X factor right now, it sounds like.
Oh, absolutely. You got to keep a very close eye on where that rain snow line sets up. It's going to be extremely close. If it were me, I would just stay put, stay home, or stay wherever you are just to be safe.
And so this entire winter storm, Quinn, while I have you here, Alex, you said continuing through the evening. Do we have any anticipation on when the storm will end for the New England region?
It's looking like about Thursday, late morning, getting in the afternoon, we should see the brunt of this system really dying down. So that'll be good news there. But there's still actually going to be some lingering snow showers across parts of New England, a little bit farther north than places like central Massachusetts down into Rhode Island. But nonetheless, the bulk of the big snows should be certainly coming to an end late Thursday morning.
And where have we seen the majority of the accumulation so far, Alex? Who's been getting hit the hardest on the East Coast?
So far, you're looking at interior sections of the Northeast, getting into New York State, not too far from, let's say, south or east of the Albany area, getting closer towards even a spot like Philadelphia, and now New York City getting into the thick of things. That's where we are expecting to see maybe a foot of snow or more, and then heading up in your direction, you'll be in that range as well.
Well, interesting to have you on here providing your perspective, because again, here in Providence downtown, we are seeing rain right now. But you're telling folks don't get lulled into a false sense of security.
Exactly. That little bit of rain right now is expected to change over. It's going to change over pretty quickly and start to come down pretty quickly too.
Well, Alex Wallace, I appreciate you taking the time to Skype in to provide your expertise both here and up in Central Mass and Worcester. So thank you for your time. Hopefully we'll have the opportunity to talk with you soon.
Absolutely. Glad to be a part of it.
Okay, thanks, Alex. Alex Wallace with the Weather Channel. Thank you for your time.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Okay, Alex Wallace with the Weather Channel Skyped in to give us an update here. It is raining right now downtown in Providence, saying the potential for snowfall is there. Now this has to do with lower than expected temps and that rain snow line. So he says keep an eye on that this evening. And of course, Central Mass expected to get a significant amount of snowfall. We're going to be right back with The Taste with Rick Simone. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, we're back for the taste. Now that you know what the weather's going to be out there, we hope that everybody's going to stay safe. The rain in Providence right now isn't too bad, like Kate said, but we've got some other nasty stuff coming our way. So start to get prepared. But now we're going to get back to preparing for St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to bring in my next guest, which is Ruth Ferrazzano from Murphy's, right down the street from us here, who brought me an incredible selection of food here that we're going to talk about. Ruth, come on in and join me. Now, I'm kind of excited for Ruth because I've known her for a long time. Hey!
Hi,
How are you,
Rick.
sweetheart? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So I have known Ruth literally for, well, I won't say how many years, but since I was probably about 18. I met you when I came here to go to college.
Yeah.
And I was actually going to her. She wouldn't let me have a drink, but she let me come in and eat. So I was able to come in and hang out and relax. And she had a great crowd and great people. And you were in a different location then.
Yeah, we're at 55 Union Street, which
That's
is a
right.
block over from where we are right now.
Right. So you didn't go very far when you moved.
We couldn't.
You couldn't go
No,
far.
you can't get too far from the convention center, the Dunkin' Donuts Center. Too many of the people that follow us go to those
That's true.
entities all the time.
And I'm definitely going to bring that up because you get a lot of great convention business, so we're going to
Yeah,
talk
we
about
do.
that too. But I want to highlight the history of Murphy's first because you have this tremendous history. How long has Murphy's itself been around?
Murphy's itself, 1929. Joseph Murphy started as Murphy's Lunch on a little corner in the back of the Strand Theater building. So it stayed there. Well, actually, it kind of progressed to being a deli. A Jewish gentleman came in 1950s, so Murphy's Lunch became Murphy's Delicatessen.
Okay.
Years went on, and they bought the bar next door, which was the Kehoe Lounge. So then it became Murphy's Delicatessen Kehoe Lounge. So that was 55, 57. Then 59 was taken over in 1978 when the little barber shop moved out. So we ended up having 55, 57, 59 Union. And it stayed there until 10.5 years ago when I moved it over to the corner of Matheson and Fountain.
But that's like an amazing history to have that progression of how it's got to where you've got it today.
It's 89 years.
And you've seen, I mean, just from the time that you've owned it and been, well, you were there before you even owned it, right?
Oh yeah, it started in 1979. So this St. Patrick's Day will be my 39th
Your
St. Patrick's.
39th St.
39th.
Patrick's Day.
Yes, with
And she's only
Murphy.
45 years old, so
Yeah,
it's
right.
amazing.
Thank you. I said as a mere
So-
child.
So for the 39 years that you've been celebrating St. Patrick's Day in the city of Providence, you've seen a tremendous amount of changes. over
Oh,
the years.
definitely a lot. I saw the highlights of downtown Providence. I saw it go down, and I saw it coming back. And yeah, I'm kind of excited about a lot of the growth and a lot of the buildings going up. And I think it's doing well. It's doing well.
And to echo what she's saying is I think one of the benefits of your expertise and your location in the city is you've also been one of the city's biggest cheerleaders. You've been out there
Oh, yeah.
supporting the growth. You've
Oh,
supported administrations. You've supported Martha
Mhm.
Sheridan and her team at the Providence Warwick Convention and Visitors Bureau over there. And you know, the effects of it from your standpoint for growth is you get a lot of convention, hotel, tourism business that comes to the Dunkin' Donuts Center, right?
Right?
I mean, we were talking, I think it was yesterday, and you had a conference group that was, the place was jumping.
Well, yes, the Turf Convention, those people that take care of those wonderful golf courses, that wonderful grass that everybody enjoys when the weather gets good. So they're a great group. We have a good time with them. They're here for 3 days, so they add a lot to our business, also a lot to the city. They spend a lot of money, and they spend a lot of time, and they're just a great group. They're among many. So the convention center adds a lot to us. Yes.
And then you got all the things that happen at the Dunkin' Donuts Center with, you know,
Mhm.
the Bruins and the concerts and all the different things that are going
And
on.
don't forget Providence
The
College.
Providence College,
The
that's
Big
right.
East, yeah, that's
right.
a huge, huge group. We've
Yeah.
been a PC bar for many, many years, going back to the Dave Gavitt times.
And it's funny, when events like that are happening, I've gone over there because I've gone over pregame of stuff, it seems like it's St. Patrick's Day every day at Murphy's when you go in
Well,
there.
it really is, because I say we're not a concept, we're reality. We actually we base ourselves on a true old type of Irish pub with every walks of life can come through and be comfortable. So,
Right, and you've
so
got a,
food is obviously very important to us.
and you've got a great team that makes that comfort go through. So let's talk about the food. Now I'm going to pick up
Alright.
different things here because she brought an amazing amount of stuff.
I know.
So let's start with some of the stuff that you offer there. What do we got here?
Basically, probably the most popular sandwich we have is the Reuben, and we call it the Murphy's Reuben, but it's basically the corned beef, good sauerkraut on great bread, and of course you have to have that melted Swiss cheese on it. And we make our own potato salad, the half sour pickles. We've been doing these pickles, I say, for over 50 years, and we make our own Russian dressing. So
I'm going to
this
eat a
is
pickle
probably
while she's
this
doing
is
it.
probably number one as far as our food, and definitely number one seller. And we just couldn't do without it. So
That's an amazing size of that corned beef
yeah,
sandwich.
well,
Look at that.
we're known for having hearty portions.
Whoa, that's amazing. And while she's talking about the next one, I'm going to eat a pickle because that pickle looks amazing. What do we got over here?
Oh, now this is something new came up actually came up 10 years ago. We had a beer dinner, and my son decided to take some of the corned beef ends, because we cook corned beef every day. We still cook our own corned beef. And you have a lot of the ends you can't slice for sandwiches, so we kind of ground them up, and we added some coleslaw in it, we had some Swiss, and we did a wrap. So we made it the Reuben egg rolls, which, by the way, now has become the most popular appetizer.
Really?
Because it's so different, and they're excellent, and of course we serve it with, you got to do a little dipping with a Russian dressing, but they're wonderful. So
That's a unique twist. That's really cool.
we actually made that up ourselves and created that dish.
I like that. All right, I'm going to slide this over a little bit more so I can get to this and bring you over this way just a little more.
Now,
What do we got here?
well, you know the Irish, they love their potatoes, so we can do regular nachos, but we also have Irish nachos, which we slice our own potatoes. You have bangers on that, bacon, another popular item in Ireland is
Love
bacon, by the way, and there's bangers on that, chopped bangers, and a little cheddar cheese, and we put that under we call it the salamander. We melt it all, and there you got your Irish nachos. It's a twist on
That's
the
a massive dish.
Yeah, well, we do portions.
Anything with bacon, I'm a fanatic
Yeah,
of. So I'm
and
very
you know,
interested.
in Ireland, bacon is extremely important. All pork products, you see a lot of pork products in Ireland.
Now that's just because it's plentiful and
I think it has to do with the history of any country. Whatever is plentiful is what you see a lot of.
now, in talking about all these dishes, what are the hours of Murphy's?
Hours, oh my goodness. Let's see, we are open 11 o'clock every day, and we close at 1 during the week. On Saturday, we open up 9 for breakfast or brunch, we call it. We close at 2 in the morning. Sunday, we open at 9 and close at 1 in the morning. So we have very extensive hours, and our kitchen's open until 1 hour before closing.
Wow.
So that's during the week would be midnight, and on the weekends it'd be 1 a.m.
All right, so you just mentioned Saturdays and Sundays as breakfast.
Yes, we do the brunch on Saturday and Sunday.
So being that St. Patrick's Day is on a Saturday this
yes,
year.
well, that's why we had to bring the Irish breakfast, which is, we just put
Look
this
at
on
that.
recently, and that's obviously become very popular. There's your bangers, obviously. This is the bread, the puddings. I don't call them bread puddings. I want to call them bread without bread puddings. The white and black pudding. And basically, it's kind of the scraps they had, and they put it with the oatmeal. I know it sounds crazy, but the dark ones had the blood in it, as we hear about the blood pudding.
Wow.
So that's basically those are the puddings.
I haven't
And
had that. I gotta try that.
yeah, it's very, very different. These are rashes. Rashes are basically an Irish type of bacon. Just to let you know, all this, we get imported. We have a person that imports this food that we do. It was one of our vendors, so that's imported. Obviously, you have to have your eggs
Yep.
and your toast and your home fries. So that's what is an Irish breakfast, traditional Irish breakfast.
And again, a good sized breakfast.
Oh, yes, we definitely like to do that. We
So
like to
starting
feed
at
people.
9 o'clock Saturday, this is what you should have before you start doing anything else for the day, because this will help you make it through the day if you get started with this. That is
Well, in
amazing.
honor of St. Patrick's Day, we're going to probably do the breakfast all day and all night.
Really?
Yeah, we don't normally do that, but St. Patrick's Day, we're going to do it. We're going to do it all day
Nice.
and all night, because it's something that people don't get often.
Wow.
Now, the traditional.
Whoa.
You got to have the traditional. Well, we cook corned beef every day, so corned beef for us is not a chore. We don't just do it one day a year. I can't tell you how many pounds. I mean, we've done up to 2,000 pounds one year.
Really?
Because you lose about half. So it came about 1,000 pounds one year. 2 years ago we did 1,000 pounds. So we cook corned beef, but we cook it all the time. So this is your basic, you know, your cabbage, your potatoes, your carrots, and obviously your corned beef. The only thing missing, I'll be honest, is the soda bread. We couldn't get the soda bread this early. We have to order it ahead of time, so there'll be soda bread, because you have to have your soda bread with you.
So you have soda bread coming in for the weekend.
Yes, we'll have it, yeah.
God, again, the plate's even heavy to hold this
I
thing.
know.
Unbelievable, the size of the carrots. All right, no one's going to go hungry at Murphy's, that's for sure.
No,
over there.
I hope not.
Not with these portion sizes. So let's talk about some of the things that you'll be doing to go along with all this great food to start out the weekend, because it's the first time in a while that St. Patrick's Day has fallen on a Saturday.
Well, in a way, it has its pros and cons, because why I like it to fall during the week is because the people can get out of the offices and come over for lunch, and those people won't be downtown. So in that way, I feel there's some people get left out, because so many, the offices just empty out, and we just get so many people during the day.
Okay.
But other people will come down in spite, you know, they'll float down to the time. So it will be busy. We'll have a 2 o'clock, we'll be going to 2 o'clock in the morning, so that's the extra hour we get. And we basically have, I give away, we call it swag.
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 The
Everybody,
Murphy's swag.
swag. It's hats, it's beads, it's shirts. I've had coolers given away. We get all kinds of items from our vendors. They just come along.
I got this from Dennis from the parade. You'll see a
Yeah,
lot more
okay,
of this
so
going on
yeah,
too.
oh yeah. And you know, when you walk into Murphy's, you don't have to I don't have to decorate for Murphy's. You just look around
Right.
on the walls. When we did it, we renovated it 3 years ago. We put all pictures out of the private city archives were pictured on the walls.
right.
So you're going to see streets. You're going to see Irish faces that from the early 1900s that actually
Reflects a lot of history.
Yes. So when you walk in, it's Irish to begin with.
So now, do you anticipate that because of it falling on a Saturday, people will start celebrating on the Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
I find they do. But I don't care what people say, when do you celebrate? Every holiday, I don't care what holiday it is, and including Halloween, any holidays. Of course, this is our big one. We do it on the day. We're very traditionalists.
Right.
Whatever day it falls on is the day we celebrate it. But people do get going on.
Early.
Yes, I would expect Friday to be seeing people. A lot of green.
Yeah,
a lot of people in
that's
green.
when you'll probably start getting those people at the offices on that Friday.
Yeah,
They'll start coming over to
yes,
celebrate.
we'll see some of them. Yes,
So, being that 9 o'clock you said on Saturday, that's when you open, right?
yes.
So you got 9 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Yes.
for Murphy's. Okay. Now, what will happen throughout the day besides being able to take advantage of this great food? What are some of the drinks that you're going to have? Is there entertainment? What do
Well,
got
you
going
know, believe it or not, we still do the green beer because we do it. The
People
pictures of
love
green
it.
beer, you got to get that green beer in.
Yep.
Obviously, we have a lot of Irish. We have a Guinness, obviously Guinness. We have any of the beers that go along with the traditional, you know, the Smittix, so forth. We sell a lot of Guinness, I'll tell you that, in the Irish
Just gotta come
coffees.
over a little bit. There we
Irish,
go.
okay, the Irish.
I don't want to get cut off. I want to make sure we can see it. Okay,
Okay.
there we go.
Okay, and the Irish coffees. I mean, I think probably the most popular things you're going to see is Guinness and Jameson.
Those are the two big things.
Yeah,
everybody
I
loves
mean,
to
we have
taste.
all kinds of different Irish whiskeys. We have different Irish scotches. We're very much into having very upscale
That's good.
liquor.
But it's also traditional at the same time of what people think about when it comes to food
yeah.
on the holiday.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And what about for entertainment?
Entertainment, we do have a single gentleman who comes in. He does we have acoustics on. By people don't know, between 5:30 and 8:30 every Thursday.
Okay.
And he's going to be coming in too. He's an acoustical guitarist, and he plays a little bit of everything for us. And we also, which is interesting, we put videos. We have a video system now at Murphy's, and it has a playlist. And we're going to be playing Irish songs. There'll be all kinds of things
that's
on the
cool.
TVs too. So we'll be playing all kinds of Irish songs and videos that day that will be based on Irish music.
Now, do you encourage people, being that, especially when it falls on a Saturday? I know, you know, when it falls during the week, people kind of stroll in and out. They start hanging out the day for the early. Do you want people to kind of call and reserve? Or are you taking reservations, or is it just
We don't
free
really
flowing?
take reservations
Okay.
because it's just impossible. It gets that crazy. And we can't determine how fast people leave. Reservations are good if you can say 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, so forth, where you know you have people that are going to stay for an hour or two.
Right.
Murphy's, a lot of people bounce around to different places. You know, they're all dressed up, they're partying. Other people want to sit and linger for a while with
Right.
friends and
And
family.
enjoy the good food.
So, and it's such a mix. We can get anybody with kids with small children, you know, a high chair, or we get a 90-year-old man who wants his corned beef sandwich and a Guinness,
Right.
you know. So,
Keeping the tradition.
yeah, you just can't. I have taken a few reservations, like if it's earlier in the day, but after a certain point, I will do a wait list. If they want to call ahead, I can be putting them on a wait list, because if you walk in and go on the wait list, you'll probably be further down if you're looking to eat. But we do serve for a little day.
So, in all these years that you've been there, I have to ask you this because it's got to be a fun question. What's one of the craziest things you've seen happen on a St. Patrick's Day over there?
I had a wedding.
You had a wedding on a
Yes.
St.
Oh
Patrick's
yeah, I
Day?
had a wedding, a formal wedding. I had the priest came. I had a wedding. I thought that was one of the more interesting ones.
Yeah, that
They
would be interesting
decorated
to
for,
me.
and they came around 8 in the morning. Yeah, they got married at Murphy's. Yeah,
They were
so,
still married by the end of the day?
Yes, I don't know if they still are now, but they would definitely. I thought that was pretty cool, an actual
That is
wedding.
really
Yeah,
cool to think about.
and it was interesting because she told me they were going to have a formal wedding, but they wanted to get married earlier because she needed medical insurance.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I said, okay, whatever floats your boat as far
There
as
must have been
marriage.
a lot of people wanting to celebrate with them and enjoy
Oh
that
my
ceremony.
God, it was crazy. They had a great time. They filled up the place and with a wedding, and they stayed for a few hours, and then they moved on. So I
That's
think
awesome.
getting married on St. Patrick's Day in Murphy's was one of the more interesting things that took place.
That's very cool. Well, I really appreciate you coming in today and highlighting all this great stuff and the many, many years that Murphy's has been around. Even Dennis, who came in before, was the parade chairman in Newport, was saying how people know Murphy's, they come to Providence and they stop there. So you've had a great location. Congratulations on your success, and keep up the great stuff.
Thank you.
Looking forward to everybody celebrating and seeing all the great pictures from this weekend.
I know. I'm waiting for it too.
Oh my God, it'll be awesome. Thank you again, Ruth. I really
Okay.
appreciate you coming in. We're gonna slide some of this out with you
All
guys.
right, I can
So,
carry
man,
this stuff.
I'm picking at these pickles again later on. These are amazing.
I'd like to leave the food for everybody to eat.
Just scoot this table over.
You, Taylor, can you get this out here? Thank you, Molly. I'll slide it towards me.
Yeah.
You got it.
Like 2 inches maybe.
Yep, how's that? All right. That was a lot of great food. Now, we got even more great food coming up because I want to welcome in Janet, and Janet is from McBride's Pub, and I got a lot of great comments on Facebook, some instant messages about some good questions to ask her. So I want to bring Janet in, and we'll get started talking about another great Irish settlement here in Providence. Oh my gosh, we're gonna help her with this. Look at this. Yay!
That's going with this.
That's going, everything goes with some, oh my gosh, look at
That
this.
goes with that.
Thank you, Molly, thank you, Taylor. Okay, we got one more thing. Perfect, look at this.
And some Jamesons.
Oh my God, Jamesons, we're in trouble here now. Joe, you might have to help me out with the Jamesons. Thank you for coming in and joining me today. I really appreciate you being here.
Having me.
All right, I'm gonna slide you over. We're good. We got a lot of great stuff now. I've got a lot of great comments on McBride's and talking about how you started and the story of how it began. So before we get to this amazing food that's making me drool over here, let's talk about your history and how you guys got started. Where did McBride's come from?
McBride's originated with my husband and his brother. They owned Monahan Drabble Sherman Funeral Home, and next to it was a 9-car garage. And as the business changed, it whittled down. They were down to 1 car, so the space wasn't being used.
Okay.
And in the meantime, they had been over to Ireland to Ballyjames Duff and been to a pub there called McBride's. And his brother owned the funeral home. So when it came time to decide what to do with the garage, they decided on an Irish pub, and 2 brothers, a funeral home, and a pub. That's how the name came
Oh
about.
my gosh, that's hilarious.
So, and we have, in the funeral home, there were 2 windows that we brought up and put in the pub, and on them was an M logo, which I eventually turned into the logo for McBride's.
Oh wow.
So the history of the 2 places is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Now, you also have some historic things in there, right? There was some woodwork or something I read that came over.
Well, that was the windows.
That was the windows, okay.
Yeah, they
All
didn't
right.
come from Ireland. They came from next door,
They came from next door, okay.
the funeral home.
So, how many years has McBride's been around now?
We opened at we opened in 2011, so going on 7.
So, celebrating your 7th year.
Yep.
And on the east side, a nice
Yeah.
Irish pub on the east side of Providence.
Oh, it's perfect, so.
No, and you're in a great location is where you are over there. Now, we're definitely going to get to the food. We're going to get all what going on St. Patrick's Day. But one of the other things that came up that was there was something of a tradition that you do every evening, and it's called the last call. Is that right?
Last call, and it doesn't mean you have to leave.
Right. That's what I was worried about when I first got the question. I'm like, you got to ask about the last call. It's a great tradition.
We
So I want to
typically
hear
do
about
it at 10 o'clock at night, but we can do it earlier if the family's in there and requested it. People can make requests for that.
So what is the last call?
It's in memory of or of somebody that has passed away.
Okay.
And so a lot of times family come in and we have a book. We're on our 2nd book actually, which we log in everybody, and family members or friends can sign it. And so it's just kind of cool. And
So when they come in, it's kind of like their way of honoring their
yes.
family, their relatives, their ancestors in that
yes.
way.
And if we don't have anybody signed up for that night, we usually honor a veteran or someone who in the service that has passed away.
So that's an amazing thing, and anyone can come in and do this.
Yes, we have cards you can fill out, and you can pick your date ahead of time, and we'll just keep it till that date.
That's awesome. So a lot of you gave me a lot of good feedback on this. I think it's an awesome tradition. Now, is it something that even on St. Patrick's Day you guys will take place to do?
Yes, we
Okay.
will. We will.
Now, this being that I brought this question up to Ruth and also Dennis from the parade committee being in here from Newport, was that you are on a Saturday, which hasn't happened in quite some time.
No.
It's been a while since it's been on a weekend.
Yes.
So with that being said, are you guys going to do celebrations all weekend, or are you going to try to keep things right to the Saturday? How are you going to set it up for the weekend?
Oh, we start Friday.
Start on Friday. I would
We have a Guinness promo Friday, along with our live music. We have a Jameson Caskmates promo on Saturday, and we have live music as well. Tuesday we have Irish music. Wednesday we have we have trivia every Wednesday, but this Wednesday it's promoted by Guinness, so they'll have giveaways.
So it's leading
These
up
are
to
all-
St. Patrick's Day
yep.
this time.
And then the Friday before we have. Oh, I know what we have. We have a Guinness engraver glass in there somewhere.
Really?
They bring in the machine and get one of these glasses, and you can put on with so many letters your name.
You're kidding?
Nope.
And that's on
We've
the Friday?
done that a few times.
So that's the Friday?
That's actually Friday the 9th. I messed that
So
one
that's
up.
coming up though. That's this Friday. Nice. So you
yes.
got all these great things leading up to it, and that was another thing that I got a lot of feedback on is that there's never a dull moment over there. You got something going on almost every single night.
We try.
And great entertainment too. You've had some great
Yes.
entertainment lineup that's
Yes, we
coming
do.
in.
We have a great group of people that come in.
All right, so let's get to some of this food, and then we'll talk about what you're doing specifically on St. Patrick's Day,
Okay.
because I am mesmerized by all the food today.
Okay.
So let's start what we got here. This looks amazing.
This is our corned beef Reuben, which
Oh,
it
good
is
fries.
very lean corned beef. The Swiss cheese, the sauerkraut, and on the marble with. It's just excellent. It's one of our best sellers.
Yeah, I think we
And
do
our
these
hand cut fries.
These are done in house.
Yes, we peel the potatoes and cut them.
Oh my God, they're delicious.
Yes, thank you.
Not that I'm not a French fry person in any way, shape, or form. And what do we got here?
This is the Irish bangers and mashed potatoes with brown beans. Very Irish. They spilled a little.
No,
Sorry.
that looks amazing. That's part of the ambiance of it. It's making it look like it gets into the potatoes, because that's what I've been doing, is dipping my potatoes right into there.
Okay.
All right, and then what do we got back here?
This is called the Irish Famine Pizza.
Joe, I gotta hold this thing. Look at
It's
that.
made with sliced potatoes.
Sliced potatoes. We got some bacon on there.
Yep, Irish bacon, mozzarella, a ranch drizzle, and a little bit of onions.
I just found my dinner for tonight.
Yeah, that's
That
yours.
looks awesome. That looks so good.
It
All right,
is.
and then you brought some Jamesons here.
I did. Very
Oh
popular.
my God! See, now this would probably be the one thing I have to be careful about doing on here, because this would really put me in a trouble spot. All right, and then what do we got over here?
We have harp, which we actually have harp and Guinness on draft,
You do.
but I brought a bottle instead.
Oh my God! This
I
Guinness
couldn't
is
bring the
like,
draft.
look at that. I'm gonna have to have.
We
a sip
pour
of
the
this.
perfect Guinness.
Yeah, you do. Look at it. Perfect glass. Look at that glass.
Hmm
It's amazing.
So you have to come up and get one
Cheers.
engraved.
I know. I want to. I'm definitely gonna have to now. After I get one engraved, have the taste put on it. We'll do it that way. Now we can
There you go.
celebrate and have it on there. All right. So, in addition to the beers, you got the draft beers that you said you got going on there. What are some of the most popular drinks that people are gonna order on St. Patrick's Day over there?
Oh, by far Guinness.
By far.
Oh,
Across
by
the
far.
board, everybody says that.
But it is. We will go through many kegs.
It's amazing.
We've already started getting them in-house to get stocked up.
How big is McBride's? Can you kind of give us a verbal visual of the set of McBride's? Because
Well, our seating is like 87.
Okay.
So we have like 15 bar stools.
but
And
at St. Patrick's Day, you take all that out and everybody's standing.
we take out half the chairs
Yeah.
to increase the capacity.
Right. So how is it set up? So I know that people complimented on your bar setup and everything. So, because what it used to be, it was part of the garages.
It was just open.
Yeah.
Yes. So we just have, it's an L-shaped bar.
Okay.
And then we have 2 high tops. And then we have like 8 stools and a little bar area on the other side with an aisle. And then about 30 tables.
Nice. Okay. And it's your atmosphere. I've been in there a couple times, and the atmosphere there is it's very welcoming as well, and what
Thank
you would
you.
expect and hope from an Irish place. And it is. It's a very welcoming feel
Thank
to
you
come
very
in.
much.
What are the hours of operation at McBride's?
We open at 11 every day, and we close at 11 Sunday
this,
through
guys.
Thursday,
I'm liking
And-
these days.
and 12 on Sunday and Friday and Saturday.
So the hours will stay the same going into St. Patrick's Day weekend?
We open at 8
You're gonna
on
open at 8?
St. Patrick's Day.
8 a.m. on St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah, we have a breakfast buffet.
Oh my gosh. What's on the buffet? I'm dying to know.
Oh, it's eggs, croissants, bacon.
That's enough. My
yeah.
God, right there. Everything
Yeah.
with bacon, I stop at the bacon. Okay. So 8 a.m. you're
And
going to open up.
sausage. Yep.
They'll start with the breakfast buffet. Throughout the day, is there different entertainment lineup throughout the day?
We have an Irish session coming in at 12 o'clock for a few hours called The Exiles. And then at 5 o'clock we have Mike Hines. He'll play till like 9.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that covers up the majority
Oh,
of the day
it's
for it.
and it yeah, it's crazy day.
So Friday night people start celebrating you. Saturday you'll have that great entertainment lineup. Sunday it'll be the people that are trying to eat more than they drink, I hope, to try to recover.
Oh,
And then-
Sunday we'll have Irish music again. We have the session coming again.
Again on Sunday.
Yeah, people that
You might have people pitching tents outside, like just kind of staying there to join you. They're not going to want to leave. So your location on the east side, you've got people that are living over there. You've got a big tourism draw. I mentioned with Ruth coming in from Murphy's and talking about the benefits to what happens from the convention center and the Dunkin' Donuts Center in conjunction with the Providence Warwick CVB. Do you guys see that over there on the east side as well?
No, not that much.
Not that much over there?
No.
So the groups that are coming in right now are mostly locals. This is a big draw that you have coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if someone's coming from, and this is what I'm getting questions about, if someone's coming from outside the city, do you recommend them getting over there early?
Yes.
Yeah, they got to come over early because
Oh, yes,
parking
if
over
you
there
want-
is going to be Yeah, it's going to be a
Yes.
premium.
Yes.
So this is a lot like thinking about if you're going down to the Newport Parade, if you're going down there and Dennis was giving tips about where to sit, where to park, all that kind of stuff. It's the same thing you want to do for St. Patrick's Day, especially with it being on a Saturday this year, is kind of plan out your day. And if you're bar hopping around, not only do you want to make sure you're doing it safely, but pick your spot where you're going to have your car and go from there. What would you say, and I know corned beef is probably going to be one of them, what would you say are some of the most popular items people are eating on St. Patrick's Day?
Well, we do have a limited menu St. Patrick's Day, just
Okay.
because the kitchen can't handle everything, so.
Right.
That's definitely one of them. We have some sliders on there, it's not all of this stuff.
It's not,
We can't do
not on
everything.
St. Patrick's Day, you can't push it all out.
We can't, no.
Now, if they're coming in and they're going to start with the breakfast buffet that'll be out there, are you guys taking any reservations, or is it just the same as everybody else? Just, yeah, everybody's got a first come, first serve. So I've answered for both restaurants your
Yes.
questions about reservations. I had like 7 people ask me, can I make a reservation to come in with a large group? I
No.
knew what the answer was going to be, but I'm asking because everybody asked me.
Yeah,
So Alex,
no,
I've
no,
answered for both restaurants.
First
great.
come,
First come, first serve.
yep.
That's the way it's got to be. Now, all year round, when it's not St. Patrick's Day and you've got this stuff going on, what are some of the biggest things that people should look for to come over? Do you guys do tasting events? Is there a fun?
We have some, in fact, we just started a new thing on Monday nights. We're doing a dinner for 2, Monday night special. So we have you pick one item from the first one, one from the second
Yep.
choice and one from the third choice, and for
Is-
2 people.
And one of the last questions I had for you is talking about, and that dinner's kind of a great idea for it to highlight it, is do you find that you guys are still educating people on some of the Irish traditions and the Irish meals when they're coming in?
Yeah, some people, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, because we still get some new customers,
The
which is
one-
good.
No, it's a very good thing, but a lot of people I know, they're Irish once a year, so they want to come in and they want to try these things and they do the different meals, but
They will go with either the corned
corned
beef
beef.
dinner or the Reuben.
easy choice. I go with the corned beef.
Yeah.
Well, this was awesome. I really, really appreciate you coming in today. McBride's will have the information out there for you. They've got some great history, been over there for a little while now. St. Patrick's Day is a weekend-long celebration with it starting next weekend. You got literally 10 days.
Actually
to
starts
finish it.
Friday.
Friday.
This
so,
Friday.
So you got it starts this Friday and goes all the
Yeah.
way through. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got 9 days until next Friday, so you haven't got much time to get your plans in order. So plan it safely. Make sure you say hi. Tell her that you saw her and try some of the stuff that they got out for the day. So Janet, thank you for making the time to come in.
Oh.
Really appreciate it.
Oops.
That's all right. I'm gonna have to have a piece of that
Thank
pizza.
you, it's all yours, whatever you
Thank you
want.
so much. I really appreciate
Thank you
you coming
very
in
much.
today. And the guys
Thank
will
you.
meet you right on the other side to help bring
Okay.
some of this out.
Thank you.
So we covered a lot of great stuff today. We got the parade chairman that was in. Kate was able to give us a weather update on what's going on for the next day. Hopefully it won't last longer than that. And then you got Murphy's and McBride's, 2 great places in Providence. Now, I know that there's a lot of other really, really good Irish places and a lot of other activities happening out there. Some great resources are to go to Discover Newport site or the Providence, Go Providence site. They have a list of things happening. You've also got the parade that takes place in Smith Hill. So there's a lot of activities. So we just scratched the surface to get your planning going. So I hope it was helpful. I hope you enjoyed the guests that we had today. Look it out and have a happy St. Patrick's Day next week. I'm Rick Simone. Thanks for joining me on The Taste today.